How little faith I have in us. Those spiders, they overwhelmed us momentarily, and I panicked. I should have trusted in the blade of my companion, believed in him, believed in us. We are strange allies. In Faerun, I doubt that we would have ever become traveling companions. His way of life and his beliefs are so different from mine. Alien. But in this place, here we have everything in common. We want to get out of here, and nothing will stop us. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
You take a moment to recover from the battle you've just had. You are unsettled by these whispers, these sounds, but other than that, for the moment, nothing else is approaching. There seems to be no other signs of danger. The ballroom that you are in, other than obviously having floors above it, also has 3 sets of doors leading off into the western wall. They are double doors. One is on the far left of the chamber, one is in the middle, and one is on the far right.
I look around and I just send a glance towards Roman, seeing if he has a preference.
I nod to you. Which one to take?
I'm going to move towards the small one.
The smallest one, the one on the far right.
Yeah.
You approach these doors on the right-hand side. Even though they are not as grand as the ones on the left and middle of the room, they are still very nice doors. This mansion was clearly once very opulent.
I move up to the doors and, well, first, are they closed or are they sort of half open or...
They are closed currently.
A bit wary, but I don't think everything is trapped, though you never know. I'm going to try and open them, the small doors.
They open slowly, creaking with age. They've clearly not been opened for some time. Dust falls upon you a little, but they open.
What do I see in there?
You see before you a 20-foot-long table with sculpted dragons for legs, standing in the centre of this hall. The chairs that surround the tables have backs carved to resemble folded dragon wings, and several of the chairs have been overturned or smashed to pieces. Suspended above the table is a crystal chandelier that glows with a soft white light. Standing in windowed alcoves are 2 life-size statues depicting knights with dragon-winged helms and shields. You notice rainwater trickling through cracks in the ceiling, flowing down the west wall and adding to a large puddle on the floor. It occurs to you that it must have started raining. Yes, that makes sense, the thunder you heard earlier. 5 sets of wooden doors lead to this hall. The doors in the northeast corner hang open. A pair of leaded glass doors, their panes cracked and broken, stand open between panels of stained glass set into the east wall. These panels depict silver dragons in flight. Beyond the glass doors looks like another room.
So that's probably more of the ruined east side through there. Are these knights that you described, are these like sets of armor?
They are statues, stone statues woven in. And again, yes, the exits then, to be more clear, are to the east now of this room. The southern exit is the room door you've just come through. And there seems to be some doors leading to the left and then up from this room as well. One of them is slightly ajar, the one on the left side.
I move in and I say to myself, looks like some sort of meeting room.
Yes, the Order of the Silver Dragon.
Nice chairs. And I move up to the doors, the glass doors, and I peer through them.
Indeed, and beyond, though the light is very dim, you with your dark vision can see what looks like a chapel of some kind. Yes, it's quite a large area beyond these doors.
I like that. That's interesting. I want to have a look in there.
Roman, what are you doing as Roshek is advancing through the rooms?
I look around, but seeing him move decisively towards, yes, this room that he's discovered, I follow, not wanting to get left behind alone. Spiders.
And perhaps worse, Roman, your senses are heightened here. There is definitely some presence nearby, watching you as you move through the rooms. It's unsettling.
It is. It is. Yes, and I approach Roshek and try to see where he's headed.
Roshek, you open the glass doors and enter this chapel. You look above and see cracked wooden pillars supporting a wooden U-shaped balcony that overhangs this stone-walled chapel. Narrow archways lead to spiral staircases that curl up to this balcony on your left and right, and a door set into the north wall of the chapel has a wooden beam barring it. At the east end of the chapel rests a stone altar, flanked by iron candelabras. The altar is carved with a rising sun relief. The chapel once had tall arching windows set with panels of stained glass decorating the walls behind the altar, though age has robbed them of what once must have been some very lovely chapel windows. One of the windows has been shattered, covering the chapel floor with shards of colored glass, and allowing thick fog to enter and fill the room.
I breathe in the air of the probably musty chamber and listen to the rain and any other sounds that I would hear, and I move carefully into the room.
And I follow, now likely seeing that this is a chapel. And do I see the symbol on the altar of the rising sun?
Indeed, it is certainly a symbol of Lathander, or at least some similar god, perhaps. You look above as well and notice that the ceiling extends. There is something very high above you. Could this be the tower you saw from outside? The light makes it hard to tell, but you definitely feel that perhaps, yes, maybe above you is this tower. It seems to be almost open plan, as in you could perhaps once have seen the tower high above you from this point. Maybe there are some stairs or something, but you can't see from here, but it's quite a sight.
Yes. I move up to the altar, I'm trying to feel closer to Lathander. He was not with me in the fight. And perhaps it is me. Perhaps my prayers have not been enough. Perhaps I've taken him for granted. Perhaps here I can re-establish that connection. Yes, I think to myself as I approach the altar.
Indeed, and you notice 3 statues of individuals with old-looking leather armor, capes and helmets, and they are all in supplication to this altar. Interesting. And you go towards it and you wish to kneel before it and pray, yes?
Yes.
And you do so, and you reach out to your god, and you are greeted by silence.
Meanwhile, I'm looking around the room, looking for anything, any storages, any containers, anything to look through. If I don't find any, I want to check these stairs, see if they actually lead up into the tower or just to the balconies.
You investigate the chapel for a moment. To be honest, you find little value, it seems. Everything is so ruined, so old now. You look to these spiral staircases that go up, and they seem to go up. You feel they must both connect to this balcony up above you. Where that leads, you don't know. You take a moment to look behind you to the entrance. You notice something. For a moment you see a figure, shrived in shadow. You blink as you watch it, and it seems to for a moment unfurl its arms. But it's not arms, they are wings. And when it does this, it just sort of fades away into mist.
What was that?
Did you see that too?
Yes, I did. We're definitely not alone here, and that was certainly no spider.
No. There's something lingering here.
Yes.
Either from the night or from, well, the other side.
This place used to be holy, but I do not feel Lathander's light here anymore. We'd better get out of here, try to perhaps make our way up. Yes? Up is good.
It certainly sounds like a good idea, doesn't it, Roman? Although, when you knelt down to pray and stood up, weren't those statues kneeling? Because they're standing now.
What? I back slowly. Roshek? These things...
What?
They moved. They're standing, aren't they? They were kneeling just now.
Statues?
Yes.
I feel the hair standing on my arms.
You see it too, yes?
I'm not sure I did. But, I start moving up towards them.
There definitely are freestanding knights now by the altar. As you move towards them, Roshek, and Roman backs away, their heads all tilt and begin to regard the pair of you. Their eyes open. Their faces are rotted, stretched, dead. One of them opens its mouth and begins to speak, as the other two slowly unsheath their swords and hold them at battle stance ready. Who are you to disturb the dead?
I move up, but I stop as this happens. I have my sword at the ready as well. I start talking. We're not here to disturb you, but rather to find a weapon to destroy the ones that did this to this place, the ones that came to destroy you.
The three of them turn and take a single step forward, their blades slowly rising in the air. You are intruders. You disturb the dead. You will go. And then you noticed, Roman, that the one speaking does then look a little closely at you, and does for a moment its eyes focus on your holy symbol.
Yes. Forgive me, friends, I am Dawnbringer Roman. I am a cleric of Lathander, of the Morning Lord, the one that you just knelt in supplication towards. We pray to the same God, and I'm but here to find something that can help us defeat the Count, the devil, the one who destroyed all the beauty of this land. All we wish to do is to pass and to find this weapon, and then we will leave, and we will not disturb you further, we promise. I promise upon the holy name of Lathander. Please let us pass.
They pause for a moment, their eyes upon you, Roman. You are filled with a strange chill. What manner of creatures could these be? They are not zombies. They are not skeletons. They are speaking towards you. They seem to have intelligence. But that in undead creatures is very rare. You are a priest. You will be offered clemency. You will come before our leader now. He will decide your fate. If you resist, you shall die.
I look to Rorschach. What do you say? Shall we meet this leader?
Well, if these guardians are indeed keeper of something good that will help us, maybe that is the way to go. Still, if this clemency is merely offered to you...
Surely my friend must also be offered this clemency, yes? Together we will meet your leader and we will speak to... We will speak to him or to her, and we will... Yes, we will come to an understanding, one that will help this land and one that will help you get the rest that you deserve.
They do not say anything else. They start to approach, swords drawn, but perhaps not ready to attack. They merely surround you two and gesture towards the stairs. One of them begins leading the way up the stairs, the other two follow close behind. What do? Do
you mean they're walking up, all three of them, now?
All three of them are moving. One has gone to the stairs, starting to move upwards, and the other two are waiting for you to follow him, close behind.
Right. Well, I look at them uneasily, but I start following the first figure.
Yes, I nod to Rorschach. Let us play it calm here. Let us see what their leader has to say.
They begin to lead you up these spiral staircases, which make you ascend a little more in the chapel. You come now to the balcony and see it overlooking the chapel. Looking up again, Roman, you can definitely sense that the tower looms high above you. You are then led from the chapel. You now must be on the first floor of the building, and you are led through some doors. These lead to a few tunnels and a few chambers, but you are not given much time to investigate as you are very forcefully being led forwards. They do not wish to give you time to wait, it seems. As you move through the corridors of this mansion, you sense presence. You look around you, Roman, and notice figures starting to appear, half in the walls, half not. Phantoms, corporeal beings, dressed in suits of armour much like these individuals, although these are not so solid. You are being watched by many of these armed men, silent as you pass. How do you feel?
This is beyond what I had expected. This is truly horrifying. Yet, they were kneeling to Lathander.
I'm thinking about how we'd be able to fight all these things, especially things that would suddenly start moving through the walls. Are we moving at a normal pace now?
Yes, you seem to be heading now to the end of a hall with some stairs that will lead further up. You also notice that you've now come into what seems to be a massive entrance hall. Yes, looking forward, you think you see what looks like the other side of the main entrance doors. It seems if you'd come in from there, you would have been led into a grand entrance hallway with stairs that went up, leading to this level that you are currently on.
Let us hope that they are leading us in the right direction. I simply follow. It's a strange anticipation for this meeting with their leader. What are these creatures? What manner of creatures are they? How can they still be alive and still be so... Yes, so together? The undead are not usually like this. No, There's something going on here.
Indeed there is. You could roll me a religion test if you like.
18.
They are warriors. They seemed ready for battle. And yet they are... You've been able to reason with them. They cannot be just some guardians, not undead golems or undead servants simply here to be activated upon magic. They are not wizards, not like that other creature you faced. You will remember tales of such creatures. They say sometimes the soul of a very strong individual can resist death, if only for a little while, and extract vengeance upon his enemies as a revenant. But those creatures are not long-lived. They seek out their targets of vengeance and then return to where they belong. Their spirits cannot remain in the material plane for long. That is not how the world works. How long have these guys been here? How is that possible?
But this is not the normal, plane or the normal world. No, this is a special place. I heard it mentioned, yes, the dread plains, the plane of dread. Perhaps things work differently here. Perhaps here they can remain, and if they have been slain by the Count, by the devil, then they will not have been able to exact their vengeance, like the army marching towards the castle. Perhaps they too are being kept in this state forever.
Indeed. And you continue to those stairs. Roshik, how do you feel, noticing these ghostly phantoms observing you as you are walking along them?
I don't like the turn that it's taken. I observe the main entrance doors a bit lowers, and I didn't think there would be so many beings, or whatever they are, alive around here, or whatever you would call it. Alive, not, obviously, but I am very wary. I clutch my long sword, but I try not to give off a hostile approach, at least.
And they lead you further up, the stairs spiralling towards what you feel must be a third floor. You seem to think from outside that the building only really had 3 main floors, so this must be the final one. You come to another corridor. This one has a few chambers leading off to the left of you, and then the right as you come in. You notice the men move forward. Another figure comes towards you. This one looks similar, although he's not wearing a helmet. He still has hair, grey and old, flowing from his shoulders, and his eyes are red and bore into you. They seem to interact with him for a moment, and he tilts his head, perhaps in surprise, although his features do not change. He nods and pushes a switch, which causes then, on your right-hand side, some of the wall to come away. A secret door opening. They then nod towards you and start to take up guard positions. This new figure walks forward. You may enter. He will decide your fate.
I nod and, yes, get ready to follow, to meet this being.
I'm thinking as if these have been, these knights, or whatever they are, if they truly have been defeated by the Count, then I worry that they're under his command. But I just grit my teeth and I follow through this new passageway.
And so you enter this new chamber. The west wall of this 50-foot long, 30-foot wide audience hall has crumbled, leaving a gaping hole and a pile of rubble. Weapons and shields that once hung from the walls have fallen to the floor and succumbed to rust. In this chamber you see a large wooden throne carved to resemble a dragon with unfolding wings, facing 3 tall windows to the west. Slumped in this throne is a gaunt, armoured figure with one gauntlet wrapped around the hilt of a massive greatsword. And you notice, on the throne, placed above it, is a weapon. Although it's hard to see more of it from this angle. What do you do?
I approach carefully and with reverence, not wanting to upset this being, showing that I'm not a threat.
Seeing the weapon above the throne, I get excited. I can't help but wonder if this is it. And I try my best to stay calm.
You enter the chamber. You notice at that door you've left, the warriors now stand silent, watching. Little expression on their faces, although the one with the hair, who is not wearing a helmet, he is watching you very carefully, you notice. Perhaps more so than the others, Roman. You know this because of your insight. The figure in front of you growls a little. He lifts his head, 2 dull red eyes staring at you from an intimidating face. This figure, you feel, was once a very intimidating force in life. A warrior, strong, foreboding. Why do you disturb the dead?
May the light of Lathander be with you. I am Dawnbringer Roman. This is my friend Roshek. We are enemies of the Count, of the Devil. We have come here looking for a great weapon. One that we hope will be able to... yes, to damage him. A weapon that will perhaps allow us to free these lands, to bring the light back, and perhaps to give you the rest that I believe you desire. The rest with Lathander, the rest with the light. Yes? This is something you desire, no?
He slowly makes a stand, gripping his greatsword in his hand. Know this, priest. You are only allowed this audience because of respect for one who serves the light. But the light is gone from these lands. Lathander is not here, and never will be again. You seek a weapon to destroy the evil that besets these lands. You shall not find it here. You shall go and do whatever good you think you need to do, but you shall not be able to do anything else. I will not allow it. Rest, you say? We shall never rest as long as he draws breath, and draw breath he will for eternity in his cage of suffering, and he will suffer for what he has done, suffer for all eternity as long as we live.
But then you will both suffer. Neither one will rest. Don't you see, we can work together. Together we can crush him. We can free these lands and we can free you. All we need is that weapon. And I start to look behind the throne, this weapon you mentioned. Do I see it?
Indeed. It appears to be a blade of some kind. It seems to shine a little with a luminescent glow, although it seems faded from this point of view.
I hold up the holy symbol of Ravenkind and I say, look, we have found the old sun, and now we need the blade that is behind your throne, right there. That blade and this will allow us to destroy the monster that has enslaved these lands. None have come as far as we have. Please help us in the name of Lathander.
I listen to him and I My eyes widen as he says this with such conviction that that is actually the blade, and I look between him, the holy symbol, and up to the blade, and I see it, and I feel it so close now. After all these dreams and visions that I've had, it's right there. I want to go and get it.
The creature looks at your holy symbol. His expression changes not. You say you've come to free this land. You have no idea of what you speak, priest. Know this, there is no monster I hate more than Strahd von Zurevich. He slew Argynvost, broke the life of the knight I loved, and destroyed the order to which I devoted my life. But he has already died once. He cannot be allowed to die again. Instead, he must suffer eternally in a hell of his own creation, from which he can never escape. You can do whatever you wish to bring some hope and peace to these lands, but I will destroy anyone who tries to end his just torment.
I sigh. A sigh of disappointment. So, this is how it must be then. I have told you what we need and what we intend to do, and you intend to just hold on to this pointless hatred. You will suffer more than he suffers. He's the one who wins in this game, don't you see? Will you give us no choice? Is that what you're saying? Must we take the blade from you?
And I feel my excitement pulsating, and I feel it's so close and I can barely contain it anymore. Soon I will have to make a go for it.
He tilts his head and remarks very casually, "That is indeed the choice you will make. But know this, you and your friend, perhaps you will strike me down. Perhaps you will strike down every single one of us. We shall rise again, and we will hunt you, day and night without end, and we will claim your lives, and you will die eventually. I offer you one final choice. Leave now, for you are a priest, or we will kill you all."
Eventually we shall all die. But not here, not now. And not before destroying the Count and freeing this land. And I hold up the holy symbol of Ravenkind, and I yell, "Lathander, bring the light, and stop my enemies." And I expend 3 charges to turn undead.
And you feel the power surge through you. You are so sure of yourself, and you shine this light upon him, upon his minions. Nothing happens. They do not even flinch. They do not even move. You feel a sudden panic. How can this be? But somehow, this does not affect a single one of them at all.
But at this, I cannot contain myself any longer, and I dart forward and I bolt for the blade.
Very well, roll initiative. Just you, Roshek.
2.
You dart towards the blade, fueled with passion. This is your moment. This is what must be done. And the second you do, this figure just stands very slowly before you. Again, there is no fury, no battle anger. He simply moves in front of you, greatsword raised. You then notice, Roman, as you look around, confused how your power has done so little, that individual from the doorway, the one with the hair, he is raising his hand. "Wait, please wait." What do you do, Roshek?
At this sudden motion, from this being, and this I snarl and I say, "The blade, we must have it, we must end this, we must slay the devil. That's why we're here, and we're not getting out of this land without that."
Roman, you sense this is a moment. This could mean everything. An individual is telling you to wait, but Roshik is ready for battle. This individual standing before him also seems ready for battle. What do you do?
I hesitate. I am not certain. I did not get the help from Lathandra that I had expected. I do not know what is supposed to happen here. I believe Roshik is the one to decide the course of action, and I allow him to go for the blade.
I am not intending to necessarily fight this thing unless he makes the first move, now that the other one has shouted out for us to wait. But I am waiting for a reply.
There is stillness, silence. The individual before you, Roman, has his weapon ready. He is ready to attack the second you move any further. But you have stopped, and you hear the voice from behind. "Vladimir, spare them. They are clearly fools. What chance could they even have against him without the weapon? None. He is a priest. We served once, did we not?" He seems very pained as he says this. He closes his eyes as if it's very hard to speak. "But yes, let them go. They will not harm Strahd. They cannot. They will die in the attempt. There is no reason for violence against a priest." What do you two do?
I turn towards the other figure, and I tilt my head expectantly.
Yes. Give us the blade. Let us go. Strahd will destroy us, surely. We cannot win.
"You cannot win," says this big figure. "But the blade might give you a chance. It is not something I can risk. No." He lowers his weapon. "I will allow you to leave. This is your chance. Be gone. Do not return."
But think of all the other people that live here. I try to. Probably might sound a bit hollow. Think about all those that cannot fight for themselves. Why should they be punished for the actions of Strahd?
They already have been punished. They already are part of this for now and forever. They cannot be saved. There is no point. Half of them do not even have souls.
But some do. There are still people with souls here that can be saved. This land is not without hope. We can bring the hope back. Surely the Order of the Silver Dragon would support us in that. You can be what you once were.
He bellows in rage and slams down his weapon one more time. He looks at you. These eyes are not the eyes of a man anymore, Roman. He knows there is something lost. He simply remarks one more time, "Final warning, or I will end you now." The other figure looks towards you. His expression is a bit different. He almost seems to be pleading with you, Roman, but he is getting his weapon ready.
Then, so be it. And I get ready for combat.
Very well. You ready your weapon, Roshek?
I don't see how we have any choice. This is what we came here for. I don't know what difference anything else that we could have done would have made. If Esmeralda would have done something, if the vampire hunter would have any idea what to do with this, I suppose we could always make our way back and report to them what we have faced and what we've seen. But it's just so close and it's right there. What do I make of this creature? He was obviously a great warrior once.
He Seems powerful and formidable. You think tactically. You may engage with this individual. But what was that he said about even if you slay them, they will simply return? Also, there are men outside. Physical men, as well as those ghosts, although perhaps you don't see any of them around now. Maybe they were spurned away by the light. But there are definitely individuals outside, and this man is here. You are going to have to make a choice, Roshek. Take the blade now and face this foe, or retreat and plan for later. But you have to make the choice now. Roman seems ready to do whatever you do.
I don't see how this can play out any other way. I'm going to try to get to the blade. And if I have to fight through this being with the help of Roman, then so be it. Once I have the blade, maybe that will make a difference.
Roll initiative, everyone.
4.
13.
Roshek, you go for the blade. Are you simply going to grab it or trying to attack this creature in the process?
If I can move around him, my main focus is getting to the blade.
He is in the way. He will need to be removed.
I snarl and I make to attack him.
Roll your attack.
I roll an inspired roll. 24.
That's a hit. Roll damage.
And now that that's a hit, I'm going to make that into a pushing attack.
You surge forward with your attack and smash straight into him. He parries instantly, although your blade does bite down into his arm just a little. Still, you get the momentum you needed and push him away from the throne. What else do you do?
Do I have time? I will try to get to the blade now.
You have time to move towards it, yes. You are now within reaching grasp of the blade. It can be yours. Almost. Roman, it is your turn.
I'm seeing the hesitation from the follower to this leader, this man with the hair. Perhaps if we could cut the head of the snake. I don't know, but I don't want him chasing us. I unleash the holy light of Lathander. I roll an inspired guiding bolt. 18 or 17. So 18.
18. And is that radiant damage, yes?
Yes, and it is 6d6.
So, roll damage.
23.
Your bolts fly into the creature's side, smashing into it with holy energy. He winces a little as he holds up a hand. The bolts hit him well and true, one of his starting to sizzle a little, and he growls in anger at this. He turns to face you, Roshek, eyes full of fury, and charges forward, ready for battle.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.